back to another episode of our Ultimate Decades Challenge. We have entered into the year 1394, and we are here with Katia Eldridge, who is aging up into an elder. She, as we know, is taking care of Hardin McGrath. He is the only McGrath child that is left in the family. And so we are hoping that she is going to be able to have a successful elder role in order for her to be able to survive to take care of this little guy. Because unfortunately, if she does not have a successful death role, then he is going to have to go and live at the orphanage. So we are going to be rolling for Katia to see if she is going to be able to have a successful death roll. For that, she has to She has to roll anything less than a 9 in order to survive. And if she rolls less than a 9 and she does survive, then we roll a d10 to see if she is able to survive and for how many more years. So we're going to go ahead and roll the dice and see if she gets less than a 9 so that she can survive into elderhood. So let's go ahead and roll our dice and see what she gets. She unfortunately gets an 11, which is not a successful roll. She is going to go ahead and pass away. So I'm just going to have to go ahead and bring a nun over into this household so that we can split Hardin and her up, and then we will have to take her away. So let me get a nun into this household, and then we will take Katia away from the community and we will kill her off. Unfortunately, Hardin will have to go and he will become an orphan. Okay, so we have arrived back here in the household. We have brought a nun over here into the household so that she can take Hardin back into the monastery with her. But we are going to go ahead and we are going to be taking Katia away from us. We are just going to roll to find out what it is that Katia is dying from. As we know, she had an unsuccessful roll for her elder years, but we do want to see what it is that she is passing away from, so we will give that a roll on the teen to elder wheel and find out what she is passing away from. So let's go ahead and give that a spin now and find out what it is that Katia is dying from. Okay, so Katia is dying from drowning. So we will go ahead and put that information on the timeline, and we are going to go ahead and take Katia and we will have her pass away. She has passed away in January of 1394, and we will just put on here that she has passed away from drowning. So I will just update this all on the timeline that she's passed away in January of 1394 and her cause of death is drowning. And then let's go ahead and jump back into the game and we will go ahead and take Katia, which is super sad, and then we will split Hardin and the nun back over into the monastery. I don't believe there is a death for drowning other than drowning in the ocean, but I am hesitant to use that option because I'm worried that I won't be able to get her tombstone. So I am just going to go ahead and choose the option of death by freezing, and I at least know that one's safe. So we're going to go ahead and let Katia die here. Oh, it's so tragic. I do think Hardin is going to come down and he will see her, that she's passed away. I think he's going to be pretty upset by the loss of her. He will know that unfortunately he is going to be unsure as to what's going to happen to him. I think he's going to be really sad. He has lost his family. He's lost his parents. She was his aunt and his only caregiver, and he's probably thinking, well, what's going to happen to me now? And I think that, he is really going to be unsure of what his life is going to look like. And as we know, him being raised in the monastery by the nuns, I think his life is going to look really, really different. I think that his life is going to be a little bit harder now. Being raised by the nuns, there won't be as much love being given to him. Obviously, Katia was, showering him with a lot of love. She had lost her own children, and so having the McGrath children in her home that she was able to care for them and love them meant a whole lot to her. And now he is just going to be being raised by the nuns in the orphanage, and I do think that that is going to have an impact on Hardin. But that being said, he is soon to be a teenager, I believe, and so he doesn't really have a whole lot of time he'll be in the monastery. But yeah, so we're just going to go ahead and engrave this epitaph, and then we will have Victoria take her over to her final resting place, and we will let her be placed in the cemetery. So let's go ahead and put this in her inventory and let her take her over to where she needs to be resting in peace. And then we will go ahead and put Hardin and Victoria in the monastery, where they will be residing from this point forward. Right, so we have arrived here in the cemetery. We are just going to go ahead and place Katia down here on the plot and let her rest in peace here in our Arendelle cemetery. And then we are going to head over to our next family, because we do have some more birthdays that we need to roll for and some death rolls that need to be taking place in this part. So let's go ahead and go see our next family. All right, so we have arrived here in I think we're in the Goodwell home. And we are going to be seeing this little guy age up. He is aging up into a child. I believe this is Conrad Goodwell. We are just going to give this a roll and see him age up into a child. And he does have a successful roll, so we will go ahead and age him up. I unfortunately made this whole recording and thought that my audio was working, and it was not, and so now I'm having to do a voiceover for this whole recording, so that is unfortunate for me. But he has aged up with his traits here. I'm just going to give him the social, let's do him as super siblings as his aspiration, and then we are going to go ahead and hop into cast with him and give him his makeover. So we have arrived in our next family. We are going to be aging up these little ones. We are in the Petechia home, and we are going to be aging them up into, I believe, toddlers. Yes, they are infants. So we are going to be aging them up into toddlers. This is, I think we have twin girls that we're aging up into toddlers. So here is our first little one that we're going to be aging up. And so we are going to go ahead and roll our dice to see if we are going to be having a successful roll. And she does have a successful roll, which is fantastic. And then her twin sister, we are going to go ahead and roll for, and she also has a successful roll. Oh, triplets. Everybody aged up. So we are going to be hopping into cast with them and giving them their makeovers. Okay, so let's go ahead and age up Adriana Petechia from an infant to a toddler. She is going to be curious and have a movement developmental delay. And let's go ahead and give her her makeover and get her photo for the family tree. And then we have Nicola Petechia, who is a sunny infant, but as a toddler, she is going to have the traits of silly and, yes, adorable. So let's go ahead and give her her makeover. And last but not least, we have Henry Petechia, who was an intense infant, and as a toddler, his traits that he is going to get are going to be charmer and wild. So let's go ahead and give him his makeover and get his photo for the family tree. Here in the Arendelle household, we are just going to go ahead and continue on. We're going to check in with our family and make sure everyone is okay. As we know, Makena is expecting. She is in her 3rd trimester, and we are hoping that she is going to be going into labor soon. That being said, we do want to invite over someone that will be able to be with her when she does go into labor. That way she doesn't have to have an extra roll on the dice. So we will probably make sure that we have someone that can be with her when she finally does go into labor. So I know that she had made friends with Halima, so we'll probably make sure that Halima's around whenever she does go into labor. That being said, we are just going to make sure that everything here is done on the farm, and we are going to, we're just going to tend to everything. I'm just going to go ahead and send Xavier out hunting so that we can make sure that there are things in the house meat-wise that we can do. I'm going to get Makena working on a little bit of the wash. I do think I'm going to have Can go ahead and get a little bit of painting done. That way she can work on a little bit of her painting skill. She has been working on some painting and getting her skill up, so I do think I want her to continue doing that. And I'm just going to have Ada work on a little bit of his shape studying, and everyone is just going to go ahead and work on some of their skill building. So that is going to be fantastic. Not that laundry is really skill building for Makena, but it does have to be done. So we're going to have her do that. So I am just having everyone kind of tend to the needs around the house. Once Makena is done with the wash, I'm probably going to have her go ahead and start making some things for the house. That way we can ensure there is food that people can eat here. She is starting to get a little bit hungry, so we'll just have her do some cooking. There are some eggs here that she did make, and as we know, the eggs don't go off. So there are some options here, but I do want to make sure that we do have some different selections of things for the family to eat. And plus, we are working on building up her cooking skill. So I am just going to have her go ahead and do that. So that'll be fantastic. Okay, that painting is beautiful, Can. I am digging it. I absolutely love the paintings that Can pumps out. I think that she is really getting good at this, and her skill level is going up pretty good. When she is done painting, I am going to send her out and have her collect the wild honey and have her collect the eggs, which will be great. I think that she should go ahead and start doing some of that. Our garden right now looks pretty good, which is fantastic. I don't think there's really anything that needs to be done with it other than maybe a little bit of watering. So I may send Can out and have her do a little bit of watering the plants, because I do think that she's able to help out with that. So I'll have her come out and help a little bit with that. As you can see, Halima is currently over now. She's helping clean up a little bit, which is fantastic. She's just mopping up a little bit of the water mess that Makena made when she was washing the laundry. And so she's just being a really big help to Makena, which, you know, we love that. I think, you know, I was going to say she's helping Makena while Makena's pregnant, but if we're being honest, Halima's pregnant too. So, you know, I think they're just, you know, two pregnant women that have become friends that are trying to help each other out, which I absolutely adore. So she's just going to go out and hang up this wash and let it start drying on the line, which is great. We definitely need, you know, our laundry being dried, so she's just going to go ahead and do that. And we love it. We really do. I'm going to go ahead and put some things in the fridge from Can's inventory here. We'll go ahead and get her to sell that. And it does look like she got some honey, so I'll have her come over and filter some of the honey here. And we will make sure that we go ahead and get that filtered. I'm going to have her breed a frog. Look at Halima. She's like, oh, that painting is beautiful. I know. She's really great at it. So we are just going to go ahead and build up a little bit of their friendship. And it looks like, wowee, Makena has a crush on Halima. No, you don't. Why? Why do you have a crush on Halima? I don't want you to have a crush on Halima. I want you to have a crush on Xavier. But I guess she has a crush on Halima. I mean, whatever. It is what it is, I guess. There's nothing I can do about it. But I guess she seems to have a little bit of a crush on Halima. Whatever. It's one of those things that just kind of happened, I guess. So she has a little bit of a crush on Halima here. So they're just having a little bit of a chat. They're probably sharing, you know, some pregnancy stories because they are pregnant together. And so I do think that Makena would be like, how is everything going with your pregnancy? I've had the worst time with morning sickness. And I think Halina would just be like, oh, really? And Makena says, yeah, it's really been rough. I've really struggled with it. I didn't realize it was going to be this difficult. So they are just having a really good time spending together here, which I absolutely love. I'm just going to have her go ahead and add some flowers to this laundry water so that will be ready for our next load of wash when it's time for us to do our next load of wash. And I think maybe I might get her out here and she can harvest a little bit of prairie grass. Not all of it. I don't want her to harvest all of the prairie grass, but I do think that I'm going to have her harvest a little bit of it just to see if we can find anything in the prairie grass. So we'll have her come out and do a little bit of harvesting the prairie grass. Obviously, I think that is something that Xavier would probably do, because that is very manual labor, but I think maybe, you know, just for the time being, we'll have her do a little bit of that just to see if she can find anything. So we'll have her do that just to see if maybe she can find some fruit or maybe even some bottles of wine, or, you know, sometimes you find things in the prairie grass. So I think she would just be like kind of curious as to what she might find growing in, or, you know, hiding in the prairie grass. But generally, I think maybe Xavier would be the one that would come out and harvest the prairie grass, because it is a tough job. But as we know, he is currently out hunting, and so he's not able to do that. But it doesn't look like she found anything other than just getting prairie grass. So Can is still taking care of watering all of the plants. And so, with that being said, I think I will just go ahead and let them continue on. Look at her. She's so cringe. Oh my goodness. Halima has just gone in and helped herself to a bit of a meal. So I love that she is just kind of feeling really right at home here. I am going to have Makena go on in and make a little bit of flour. I don't think there's anything else that she can make here at this meal, but she can process some wheat flour and some rice flour. So I'm going to get her to make a little bit of wheat flour. That way we will have flour available for us to make bread and things like that. So I'll have her do that. Look at her. Why are you dancing? You're supposed to be making flour. Honestly. Makena, honestly. She's like, I'm just feeling in such a good mood. I'm feeling so playful. I am loving the fact that we've got visitors over, and I just love it. I think she really does. She really, really does. Once Can's done with her chores, I am going to have her come in and sell that painting that she created for some extra money. So that'll be good. Currently, right now, she is over there filtering the honey, and we'll get her to collect that honey into jars as well. So she's working really hard right now to process this honey, and she looks like she's having a good time with that. She's feeling really inspired, and I think the reason she's feeling inspired is because she knows the outcome of this pressing and filtering of the honey is going to produce her jars of honey, and Can is obsessed with honey. So of course she's going to be excited about that. Of course she's going to feel inspired because she knows the outcome is sweet, sweet nectar. And she loves honey so much. So she's just thinking to herself, I'm going to be able to have honey that I'm going to be able to eat. And that's going to make her super happy. She's going to come in and grab herself a little plate of salted wild boar, so that she can have herself a little bit of a bite to eat here. The fact that she is actually eating a real meal is not lost on me, but yeah, we love that. And Makena's going to quickly give Ada a little bit of a bath, and then we'll have her go ahead and collect that wheat flour. Xavier has returned home from hunting, so we will check and see what it is that he got. He got a chicken, he got a rabbit, and he got a boar. So we will go ahead and we will have him cut up the rabbit, and then we will put the other things in the fridge so that we will have those available for cooking. So that'll be fantastic. We absolutely love that. I really kind of wish he would, I don't know. I just kind of wish he would find some things that we could have aside from boar. He does find a lot of boars. I find that he hunts and gets a lot of boar. I don't know if it's because of the season that we're currently in, but boar is definitely something that he has been hunting and getting a lot of lately. So, but we are going to have a lot of boar meat, so we could make salted boar for days. We really could. I think that's really the only thing that she can make is salted boar. I don't think there are any other meals that you can use the boar in, so I don't really know. So I am going to have him come on out here and maybe fertilize some of these plants, and then we will ensure that hopefully they are, fertilized so they can grow better. I was hoping that he could use some of this fertilizer on the plants, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. And then I'm going to have him harvest maybe this prairie grass that's out here in this section of the gardening as well, and see if he can find anything from that. So I will just get him doing those things, and that'll be wonderful. He's like, oh, this is kind of hard work. Yeah, I don't know what you're complaining about, because let's be honest, Makena was out here harvesting, and she complained less than you did, Xavier. So we are also going to get some seed packets. I just want to see if there are anything with the seed packets that we can get that maybe we don't have that we could possibly plant for the seasons that we're in. We are currently in spring. I think we are heading towards summer soon. It doesn't look like though we got anything that we don't already currently have planted, so I'm just going to throw those things in the fridge so that we can use them for cooking. And yeah, we don't really need to do anything else with that. So he only found prairie grass as well. He didn't find anything hiding in the prairie grass, so that's unfortunate. But I am going to send him out. He's going to take care of the chickens for a little bit, and I am going to delete some of these harvest days off of the calendar because it looks like I have some harvest days on the calendar that are incorrect. So we'll just take care of deleting some of those. So Xavier's come in to clean up a little bit, but I do think I am going to need to get him to also grab himself a bite to eat. He's starting to feel a little bit hungry. Makena is upstairs. She's just playing a little bit, so we absolutely love that. I mean, as we know, she is a teenager, so it doesn't surprise me that she would kind of want to play a little. and she would want to relax a little bit with games and things like that. It's not all seriousness with her. She's a teenager. I mean, she's going to do teenager kind of things. He's an adult, yes, but she is a teenager. She's not as mature as he is. She's not as serious as he is. She still goes through phases and things like that. And he has to understand that, you know, this life that he has thrust her in is new to her, and she is not used to this ready-made family. She's not used to all of these demands of responsibility, and she sometimes just wants to kick back and play a game or do something fun because she is a teenager. She's not as old as he is. So it does look like Halima is heading off. I have sent Xavier out to the docks to collect some seawater, and I'm going to go ahead and let Makena just do a little bit of chores here. And it does look like it is All Fool's Day, so they're supposed to be drinking and carrying on with some mischief. I'm not sure if they are going to be able to kind of do those things, but maybe we will see about, you know, some of that being done. Makena is currently working on some archery. She does sometimes tend to go out and do some of the archery skills. She seems to kind of enjoy doing some of the archery. I know that's more Xavier's thing, but I do find that Makena, she enjoys it herself. Like, she doesn't think to herself, well, that's a man's thing. She enjoys it. I think that she kind of thinks to herself, you know, that's just something I like to do. So he went to the market as well, and we are just looking to see if there's anything at the market that we can purchase, and it doesn't look like there's anything at the market that we can really get that we don't already have planted. So yeah, there are some green peas, but I think we possibly might already have green peas. I'm going to go ahead and get some, but I think we already have green peas. Spinach, yeah, we do. We already have green peas. A lot of green peas actually planted. So I just bought all those green peas and we don't actually even need them. So maybe I'll just get rid of those green peas because it looks like we already have plenty of green peas planted. So I'm going to get him out here. He's going to spray for some bugs. And we are going to go ahead and just put these green peas I just purchased in the fridge, and we'll put the salt water in the fridge. That way she can make salt from that later on. And he's going to go ahead and take care of the bugs. Maybe I'll buy another couple of packets of seeds and we can see if we get anything different. I would like for hopefully Trader Jacques to come, and maybe he sells us possibly some different things that we could possibly plant, but I haven't really seen him at all. He's not come by, so I don't really know when he's planning to come by, but yeah, we'll just have to see. All right, so there so far is nothing that we can plant. We do have potatoes there or taro root, but those are not allowed to be planted, so I'm just going to sell all this stuff. And as you can see, Ada has come out to talk to his dad. He is feeling kind of angry. I think Ada is probably angry because he is kind of tired. So he's just maybe needing a little bit of rest. Yeah, he is very tired. Let's go ahead and send you off to bed, Ada. Let you go get a little bit of sleep. Clearly you need to get some rest. And it does look like also that Makena is kind of feeling a little bit tired. So maybe she could stand for a little bit of a nap herself. Everyone, to be completely honest, is kind of feeling a little bit tired. I am going to have her go ahead and make some things to do the cheese and meat and bread option. I think she's going to have to make some salt and make some like salted meat. So we will go ahead and get Makena over here cooking those things so that she can make that platter. So let's go ahead and have her come and make those items. So we'll get her making a little bit of sea salt, and then she can make the salted meat. And I'm going to send Xavier back out to hunt again because it looks like we still need a bunch of meat. So we'll have him go out and hunt again. Unfortunately, we just don't have a whole lot of low quality red meat, and we need more. All right, so we're going to get her over here. We're going to get her making the stuff that she needs, some sea salt. And then when he gets back, we will try to make the platter, and hopefully that will be good. Can is just getting a little bit of a workout in, which we absolutely love. There is trash here that I need to clean up. And we are going to make sure that we have everything that we need to make this platter. Obviously, she had made that wild boar, which is great. But I do think that wild boar probably will spoil. So I know with the cheese, meat, and bread platter, it won't spoil. It'll last for days and days and days until it's gone. So we definitely want to make that. And I am just going to get her cooking on that. And Can is just kind of tending to herself and, fiddling around the house. She's kind of done all of the chores that she needs to do for the day. And so she's really just kind of tending to herself. She is feeling a little bit tired though, so I may send her off for a little bit of a nap herself. Makena's like, well, I'm tired and you're not letting me nap. That's because you're an adult. I mean, technically you're not, but you're the oldest in the house. There's a woman here, and you really do need to take care of the home. All right, so I'm gonna see if we are able to make some salted meat now, and hopefully we can. And if we make some salted meat, we should be able to make that platter. So she can make some salted meat, so we'll go ahead and make some salted meat here. And it looks like it is tax time, so we're also going to have to pay our taxes, which, we love that. So after she makes this salted meat, we'll have her come on out and pay him for the taxes. We are going to need to make sure that gets taken care of. I'm sure that he'll probably come in and just be like, excuse me, but it's time, you rotten peasant, for you to pay your taxes. Yeah, he did. He totally came on in. He's like, excuse me, it's time for you to pay your taxes. And she's like, hello, sir. I realize here that it's time. Here, let me just get the money for you. Here you go. All right, so she has paid him for the taxes. She's also made the salted meat. Now we're just going to go ahead and get her to make a little bit more sea salt, and then we're going to have her make the platter. I do believe that she has enough things going on that she can make the platter now, because she made the salt and she made, yes, she can totally make that platter now. So I'm gonna have her make that platter, and her making another sea salt. That'll be great. She'll be able to make more salted meat, and we'll be able to make, we'll just keep making salt and salted meat, and she'll keep being able to make those platters, which will keep us fed for a while. So that'll be great. Obviously, when Xavier gets home, he's probably going to need to get a bite to eat. I'm going to let her go ahead and go get a little bit of a rest, and I'll see you when Xavier returns. Okay, Xavier is home from hunting. He does need to go to the washroom, so I'm just going to send him in and let him go to the washroom really quickly. And he's also feeling really exhausted. So he is probably going to want to get himself to the bathroom. He has cut up that rabbit that he got, and he is going to put everything in the fridge. He also got another boar, and I think he got a hare, maybe. I don't really know. Anyway, we are going to put everything in the fridge here, but he did cut up what needed to be cut up. So we got us some more low quality red meat, which is fantastic. As you can see, Can was having some honey, and now she's just hanging out in here. I'm going to have her, wait, can you throw that away? And she's like, well, no. Okay, I'll throw it away. All right, maybe I can get her working on a little bit of painting or cross-stitching, something to kind of build her skills a little bit. Everyone else is getting some rest, and she is up just feeling fantastic. All of her needs are in fantastic shape. But she's going to paint a little bit, and then she's going to work on some cross-stitching, and she's just going to do a little bit of skill building, which we absolutely love for her. Maybe after doing all of that, she can also practice a little bit of calligraphy. I just want her to learn some things and kind of be a little bit well-rounded. I think that will be really good for her. Obviously, she is trying to become a little bit of a lady. Yes, we are peasant class, and maybe she, is of lower class, But I think, part of her kind of hopes one day that she would be able to raise herself in society up in the levels of ranks. And, I think that she has high hopes that would get a learned education here. And obviously they don't go to school, but, she can learn how to paint. She can learn how to cross stitch. She could learn calligraphy. And she already knows how to take care of the animals. And she's learned how to make honey. She will, as she gets older, learn how to cook. And so she is learning life skills. And so she's thinking to herself, if I could learn how to, do calligraphy and read and write, like, who's to say that I can't, become a better, higher ranked lady and these kind of things. So I think Can kind of has these dreams of being better. All right, so she has sold that painting that she created, which we absolutely love. She decided against doing calligraphy, so maybe she's just like not with it. I don't really know. But I am going to have her continue on doing the things that she wants to do here. She wants to eat honey. That's what she wants to do. I'm going to have her breed another frog, and I really would like for her to not eat the honey. I would really like for her to eat some real food, but she's a glutton and she likes honey, and that's just what she likes. I can't make her quit. So it is what it is. But I am going to have her maybe come on and do some more skill things. Maybe I can get her to come out here and gather some more honey and collect the eggs and just do some things out here on the farm just to help her parents out. I think that would be helpful. And she can even come out and look for some more frogs and see if she can find something else that she can have for breeding that's different from the ones that she currently has. So she is just going to come on out and try to get some things done here on the farm. She unfortunately wasn't able to collect any honey. She got stung by a bee, so she's feeling pretty uncomfortable as far as that goes. She also has a loose tooth, and so we hate that for her. She's just overall really not feeling well. She also pricked her finger while she was doing the cross stitching, so she's feeling a little bit uncomfortable right now from doing some of her skills. And but overall she's feeling pretty inspired, and I think that's just because she is on the farm. She does love her farm. But it does look like we have someone that has gone into labor. So we are going to go ahead and head over and see the Shoemaker family. All right, so we are here in the Shoemaker family. It looks like Halima has gone into labor. And so we are going to send her and Ara up and let Halima go into labor. As we know, Halima does need to have someone with her since this is her first birth. She needs to have someone that is experienced with her so that she doesn't have to roll an extra roll on her dice when it is time for her to give birth. So we are going to send her on upstairs and let her give birth to her little one. Ara is going to go ahead and head upstairs with her, and Halima is going to have her baby. And she has had a girl. So let's go ahead. We are going to name this little one Forwin. So we are going to name this little one Forwin Shoemaker.
No, boo.
And it is a single birth. We are going to need to roll for mom and baby. As we know, mom can't roll a 1 or an 11. So we are going to pull up the dice and roll for mom. And then we will roll for baby and see if baby can survive as well. So let's go ahead and roll for mom and see if she's going to make it. And mom does make it with a 5, and the baby also survives. So Forwin is going to survive, and we will continue on with this family surviving. I will go ahead and put on here that Forwin has survived and add her to the timeline, and we will go ahead and continue on. And that is fantastic. She will age up into a toddler tomorrow, and an infant tomorrow. And for an infant, she obviously doesn't have to roll. So we will not see her roll again until she becomes a toddler. So that is wonderful news. So we absolutely love that. This family has grown. They have had their first baby. And they obviously will have significant more baby tries, and we will put on the timeline when she is going to try again for another one. We will just continue on, but I am going to go ahead and we are going to head back over into the main household. So back here in the main household, we definitely know now that Halima is, definitely going to be able to come over here and have Makena help Makena with her labor once Makena goes into labor. We are just waiting for Makena to go into labor. She should be going into labor at any time. She is in her 3rd trimester and has been for a little bit of time now. So we are just waiting for that to take place. I am going to have Xavier come and do some filtering of some honey, and I'm going to have Makena come and do a little bit of putting the laundry away. As you can see, she is very, very pregnant, so we are just waiting for her to finally go ahead and go into labor. She is feeling pretty playful currently, which is fantastic, and I'm just putting some things in the fridge that were in her inventory. Everyone in the family seems to be in pretty good shape, which is wonderful, but I do think that they are starting to get a little bit tired and are soon going to need to be turning in for the evening. I am going to just make sure everything is cleaned up. Look at Can still in here eating honey. I say still in here eating honey. Again, in here eating honey. Literally, that's all this girl does. I don't even know what to say about it. I really don't. I kind of wish that she would opt for something else, but I'm going to go ahead and queue up for Ada to grab himself a bite to eat. He's seeming to be a little bit hungry, and we're just going to let Makena clean up a little bit around the house, and then she can go to the washroom, and we absolutely love it. Everyone seems to be doing really well. Everyone in the family is pretty happy, and this family dynamic here in this home is really, I think, pretty good. They all seem to really be getting on quite well. I think that even though, Xavier did lose his wife to childbirth, he recently married Makena, and it's not, she's not necessarily the love of his life. I think they are making it work. So I think that's good. So I am going to just get a trader sign here, and I'm going to put it out that way the trader can come to the house, because we have so much honey that I would like for us to be able to sell, and so I am just going to put a trader sign out so that the trader will come. And then I'm going to get Xavier to go ahead and do a little bit more archery so that he can get some more skill and he can hopefully get a promotion when he goes into work again next. And, honestly, he could probably go and try to compete in some archery skills, like competitions, and see if maybe he could even win some archery competitions for some money. I think that might even be some things that he can start getting into as his archery skill starts to get up. And it does look like Halima has come over, which I'm finding kind of surprising that she's come around. She did literally just give birth, and here she is. But it's almost like she knows that Makena is soon to give birth, and she wants to be here. She wants to be supportive. So I find that really, nice of her that she's come around and that she is becoming such a good friend of Makena's. I do, though, think that Xavier needs to come over and just end their romantic relationship. As we know, him and Halima do have a bit of a romantic relationship, and that's because they were starting to kind of build some romance before Halima kind of got married. He was kind of hoping that those two, they could get married before he met Makena, but then Halima went off and got herself hitched. So he's just going to come in here and he's going to greet her, and then he's just going to tell her that he kind of wishes that they could just be friends. And he's going to cool off the romance that they have between the two of them, because he doesn't want it to be awkward. He obviously can see that she's become friends with his wife, and he sees that she's going to be coming around often, and he doesn't want things to be uncomfortable. And so he's just going to tell her, I appreciate you coming around, and that you're here for Makena, and that you guys are becoming so close. And I don't want there to be any type of awkward, uncomfortable feelings. So I really would like for all three of us to be able to just be friends. And she's like, yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with that. And of course we can be friends. So I am just going to send him off. He's going to go and participate in an archery competition. And we are going to just let our family go ahead and start getting themselves ready for a little bit of bed here. Everyone's starting to feel a little bit tired, and we want them to be able to get a little bit of sleep It is kind of a late time for Xavier to be heading off to do archery competition things, but he was kind of thinking, I really do want to see if maybe I can possibly win us a little bit of extra funds. And once Can gets up from her nap, I think maybe I'll send her out to pick some flowers for the laundry. I'm going to get Makena to just come and get herself a little bit of a bite to eat because she is starting to get a little bit hungry. And Ada, honey, what is it that you need to do? He's probably in there playing in the toilet, if we're being honest, because he's bad. And then I'm going to go ahead and queue up for Makena to take care of some of our animals, because I do think that we need to milk and shear our animals and probably bottle feed them. I do think it's been a while since we have done any of that. And maybe I'll have her also do a little bit of cross-stitching herself. So we'll go ahead and queue up for her to do a little bit of cross-stitching. So that will be wonderful for her to get a little bit more cross-stitching under her belt, because she can go ahead and get some skill up for that. Ada's come in. He's like, "What you doing?" She's like, "I am eating some food. What are you doing?" And he's like, "Well, I was just playing in the toilet." She's like, "What? Do not play in the water closet." So she's just getting some cross-stitching done here, and we are going to go ahead and maybe I can send Ada up to do a little bit of skill building himself. Like right now he just wants to chat with her while she gets a little bit of cross-stitching in. And Can has gone off to search for some flowers. And he is just chatting away with Makena, which I think is great. I love that he's so keen to build relationships with her and for them to be close. She's like, "Oh my God, my back. This pregnancy is killing me." Why don't you guys work on some skills? Maybe you can teach him something. Why are you just standing there? Go ahead and teach him something. Teach him maybe some like... Oh, no. She saw Halima, and so now she wants to go chat with her. Alright, so we'll have her come out. We'll have her chat with Halima a little bit. She just wants to talk with her. And it looks like we have had someone else go into labor. So let's go ahead and let's head over and see her go into labor. So we are here with Yasmin. We are going to see Yasmin go ahead and give birth. This is Yasmin Goodwell. We are going to let her go ahead and have her baby. Unfortunately, she doesn't have anyone that can be with her, so she is going to have an extra roll on the dice. So we will have an extra roll for her that she has to avoid when she has her baby. So Yasmin Goodwell is giving birth to her first child, and she will not be able to roll a 1, 2, or an 11, I believe. So we will be going ahead and rolling for her after she has her baby. We are going to be finding out what it is she is having. She's so uncomfortable. All right, so she has given birth to a girl as well. And we are going to name this little one Estrid Goodwell. Oh, and she had another girl. All right, so we are going to name this little girl Yasmin. Yasmin Goodwell. Oh my God, and she had a little boy. Okay, we are going to name this little guy Xander. Okay, so she has had triplets. So basically what that means is she can't roll a 1, 2, 11, 15, or a 20. The mom can't. So we are going to have to roll the dice for mom. She can't roll a 1, 2, 11, 12, or 15. If she rolls any of those numbers, she is going to pass away, and she has to roll 3 times because she had 3 babies. So let's go ahead and roll the dice for mom and see how she fares. All right, mom rolled a 2, so I am only she's dying. So we are going to go ahead and roll for the babies. We will roll for Estrid first. So Estrid is passing away, And then we have Yasmin, who is also passing away, and then Xander, who is good. All right, so Xander is the only baby that's going to live. We are taking mom and both of the girls away from this family. Xander is the only baby that's going to survive. We will go ahead and plead for mom and see if she can live. But let me go ahead and update this on the timeline, and then we will go ahead and take care of the little ones and mom, I guess. Okay, we're going to take away the first baby, and then when we have her put down Estrid, we will also take away Estrid, and we'll leave the only baby remaining will be Xander, and then we are going to go ahead and take away mom. As we know, mom does have to pass away. We will be pleading for Yasmin to see if she can live. I do think that he would definitely plead for her because, well, A, they just got married. He's in love with her, and he has a newborn baby. I think that he would want her to live, and plus they're supposed to be trying for so many children, and so I do think that he, he's going to plead for her. He's going to be like, oh my God, please spare her. Please don't let her die. Please let her live with me. So I think that, he is distraught over the loss of, not only 2 of his 3 children, but his wife has just passed away in childbirth, and he's thinking to himself, this cannot be happening to me. So he is going to plead with the Grimm, please, please, please don't take her away. And it looks like the Grimm has agreed. He is going to let Yasmin live, which is wonderful news. And so she has thanked him for saving her life, and the Grimm is going to bring her back to us, which we absolutely love. That is great. We're going to have more chances for Yasmin to give birth to other babies. Even though they have lost 2 of the 3 triplets, we do have little Xander, so they do have an heir in this family, which is wonderful news. We are going to have Yasmin, so they will be able to continue on trying for more children. Not that they can replace the 2 that they lost, but, at least they are going to be able to have others, which is going to be great. And at least, he didn't lose his wife, which is wonderful news. So I am just going to wait for the Grimm here to give her back to us. Like, he's taking his sweet little time. As you can see, her husband is just cleaning. It's like he's stress cleaning. But we are just going to go ahead and, all right, there she goes. So we are going to head back over to our main household, and we're going to wait for Makena to go ahead and give birth to her little one, and hopefully she has a better outcome than Yasmin did, because that was so tragic. I mean, it was great that she got risen from the dead, but still really tragic that she lost 2 of her babies. So let's go ahead and head back over to the main household. Okay, we have arrived back in the main household. Everyone seems to be in a great mood. Everyone seems to be really, really happy. We are still in our 3rd trimester. We are still waiting on Makena to pop and have this baby. She is, as you can see, feeling pretty good overall, other than she is a little uncomfortable from cross-stitching, but other than that, she feels pretty good. Halima is still here. It's like Halima is just waiting on her to go into labor, which, I mean, we appreciate because we do need someone around, but I don't know how long Halima's planning to hang out. And so if Halima does leave, we obviously will invite her to come back round, because we will need her to be here when we go into labor. I'm just going to have Makena go and do a switcheroo on the wash and get some stuff washed up and put out on the line. Xavier is just doing a little bit of tidying up in the kitchen, which is fantastic, and Can is taking out the trash. So everyone is just trying to keep the place kind of tidy, which is wonderful. And we are just waiting at this point. It is pretty late. The time is really getting away from us here, and so we are, just kind of hoping for a baby to come. I, technically need to be... Look at Halima. She's like, let me do a little bit of archery. It'll be fine. Okay. What was I saying? Anyway, yeah, there's a lot of things that, obviously need to take place in the episode, but our main thing is just waiting for Makena to have this baby. Xavier's like, I need bed. I've done all I can do. I've hunted. I've gone out and done an archery competition. I've practiced. I've tended the garden, and I'm shattered. All right, everyone is going to go ahead and head themselves off to bed, and I will see you when they wake. Okay, so everyone is up. Makena is just doing a little bit of honey pressing, which we absolutely love. We have Xavier tending to Ada and doing a little bit of flashcards, and it looks like we are going to have Can doing a little bit of cross stitching. So we are just basically tending to a little bit of things here around the house. Makena is, as you can see, still pregnant. We are still waiting on her to go ahead and go into labor. So we are hoping that is going to come pretty quickly. She is just going to go ahead and head on over and do a little bit of cross stitching with Can. And Xavier is going to come and pick up the jars of honey here. Halima is still here. She's come back around. We called her over here because I kind of figured we were getting a little bit close, and I wanted her to be here for when she went into labor. We slept through the night and the baby didn't come, and I thought, seriously, like, we should be having a baby. But we are going to head on over and we are going to see the next family. It is time for birthdays. So since she has not gone into labor, we are going to go ahead and we are going to age up Asila alike. She is becoming a teenager. For that, she can't roll a 7. So we are going to go ahead and pull up our dice, and we're going to see if she can age up. We're also going to see if she's going to marry, and if so, how many children she's going to have. So we are going to go ahead and give the dice a roll and just see how she fares. So let's go ahead and roll the dice. She is aging up. She is going to marry, and this is how many children she's going to have. So we are going to update that on the timeline, and we're going to go ahead and age her up to a teenager now. And then we will go ahead and hop into cast with her and give her her makeover. So I can't wait to see what she looks like as a teen. But here are her traits. And her aspiration is going to be, I think I'm going to do nature freelance botanist. Here in the Arendelle home, we are going to be aging up Camille Arendelle, and she is that little bitty one there with her back to us. I don't know why I'm focusing on this child because she is the wrong sim. The one with the back, her back turned to us, is actually Camille Arendelle, but she's aging up to a child. And we are going to roll the dice, and she unfortunately is going to die because she couldn't roll a 3 or a 9, and she rolled a 9. So she is going to pass away. We are going to have to roll and find out what it is she's dying from. So let's go ahead and roll and see what she is dying from. And she is going to be dying from diphtheria. So that is a communicable disease. For that, we are going to have to obviously do the roll for everyone in the family to see what it is that they are going to, like if they're going to be catching this or not. So if you look on this, it says For those who live with the infected persons, they have to roll the dice, and if they get a 3 or an 8, it means they've contracted it, and then we flip a coin, like for heads or tails. So we will be rolling the dice and seeing about a 3 or an 8. So we're going to roll for everyone in the family and see if they get a 3 or an 8. If they get a 3 or an 8, they will have contracted diphtheria, and then we will have to flip a coin to see who lives and dies. So let's go ahead and we will find out who is going to catch diphtheria within the family. We are going to go ahead and open up enough dice for everyone in the family. That is going to be 5 dice that we're going to open up, and then we're going to give them all a roll, and they can't roll a 3 or an 8. And it looks like everyone has survived. No one has contracted diphtheria. The only one that is going to pass away is Camille Arundel, and that is because she did not have a successful death roll for her birthday. We are going to go ahead and age her up to a child and get her photo for the family tree, and then we will have her pass away. Let's go ahead and we will age her up and then do her little makeover and get her photo, and then we will take her away from the family here and put her tombstone in the cemetery. This is little Camille here. We are going to, though, go ahead and age her up and, like I said, do her makeover, get her photo, and then we will kill her.
Blood.
Okay, so we have aged up Camille, gotten her photo, and now it is time for us to take her away from the family. We are going to go ahead and kill her off, and then we will have to obviously engrave her epitaph and put her in the cemetery for her to rest in peace. This whole family is going to be pretty upset by the loss of her. As we know, the Arundel children are living with their Aunt Deanna, and I think they are going to be really distraught over the loss of their sister. Deanna obviously is going to be upset by the loss of her niece, and she's probably thinking, I promised their parents that I would take care of their children, and now Camille has passed away. So I think that it is going to be a great shock to the whole family. I think they are going to be really saddened by the loss of Camille. But unfortunately, these things sometimes do happen, especially when you catch diseases such as diphtheria and things like that. These things just kind of happen, and there is nothing that they could have done, and unfortunately, it is just sometimes the way it goes. So she has passed away, and they are clearly distraught. They are trying to do the best that they can. Deanna is trying to do the best that she can, but sometimes life just works that way. It really just does. So we are just going to let the Grimm go ahead and come and take Camille, and then we will go ahead and engrave her epitaph here, and we will go and place her in her final resting place. So let's go ahead and just update her epitaph, and then we'll have Deanna go and take her over to the cemetery so that she can rest for eternity there with all of the others that have passed before her. So now that we have engraved her epitaph, let's go ahead and have Deanna grab her up, and then we will go ahead and travel over to the cemetery and place her in her final resting place. All right, now that we are in the cemetery, we are just going to go ahead and place her down here, and then we are going to head back over into our main household so that we can continue on with Makena. We should be getting really close to giving birth. Oh, I lied. All right, so we are here with the Goodwells, and this is Benedict Goodwell's children. We have the twins, and they are going to be aging up. We are going to go ahead and age them up into toddlers, but we are going to go ahead and roll for them. We're going to roll for them simultaneously, and maybe it was a 4, 8, 12, or 16 that they couldn't roll. I do believe they both got a successful roll. They do both get to age up, so we are going to jump into cast with them. We are here with Forwyn Shoemaker, and we are going to go ahead and age her up into an infant. As we know, she does not have to have a roll because we don't roll for our infants. We're just going to go ahead and get Mom to come on up here and age her up, and then we are going to hop on into Cass, and we are going to do her makeover and get her photo for the family tree. So let's go ahead and age up Forwyn here. So come on up here, Halima, and age up Forwyn. She's like, yay, Forwyn, you've done it. We love that. All right, so we are going to just randomize her trait. She's going to be intense. We love that. And let's go ahead and hop into Cass with her. And here we are back with Xander, and Xander is going to age up to an infant as well. So let's go ahead and age Xander up to an infant. And so let's go ahead and get Dad to come on up here and age him up. And we will have him come and bond with his little one, age him up to an infant. And then we will hop into Cass with Xander and get his photo for the family tree after his makeover. He's like, yes, my son. Look how proud he is. He's feeling super confident. We love that for him. He is a Gemini, and he is wiggly. We love that for Xander. And let's go ahead and hop into Cass with him. finally arrived back at our main household, and honestly, Makena, you desperately need to have this baby. So we are just waiting for her to go ahead and go into labor. I'm just going to go ahead and queue up for her to do a couple of things around the farm here. There's a mushroom there. I'm going to have her pick that up, and we're going to have her maybe do a little bit of harvesting of the prairie grass. And I'm just going to have her work around the farm a little bit. I'm going to get Can to sell this cross stitch pattern and work on some of her skills. And Xavier, honey, what is it that you're working on? He's just cleaning up? Okay, that's wonderful. Maybe we can get you doing some things that you actually need to be doing other than that. Maybe I can get him to make a mirror. I think that would be great if he could actually work on making a mirror for the house. I think if they had a mirror to hang up towards that bathroom area, that would be fantastic. And then, you know, they would be able to work on like practicing their speeches and things like that. So I'm going to get him to make a mirror for the house, and then he can hang that up. That will be wonderful for the family to have. So he's going to go ahead and craft that. And we are just really waiting for her to give birth to this little one. I don't think Halima is still around, so we will have to invite Halima over again to get her over once Makena goes into labor. So once Makena has gone into labor, we will invite Halima to come on over, and then hopefully, you know, we'll have someone around for us when it is time for us to give birth to our little one. So we are going to just have Ada go, and after he's finished eating, get him to go to the potty, because it does look like he needs to go to the potty. And I am going to get Makena to come in and just do a little bit of cooking. I think that will be good for her if she can get some cooking done. So I will have her come in here and just make a little bit of, I don't know, maybe we can do some mashed potatoes and gravy. That sounds like a plan. So let's get her in here to do a little bit of cooking. She's like, I am freaking miserable. Yeah, you're huge. You need to have this baby. And then after they're done with the things that they're currently working on, they are going to need to go off to a holiday ceremony. So we will be sending them off to do that. So we will send them off to go to the holiday ceremony so that they can meet that for the day, because it does look like it says it's Rogation Day. I'm not sure why it says it's Rogation Day. It's constantly telling me it's Rogation Day. I think maybe my calendar might be messed up a little bit. I'll have to look into my calendar and kind of fix that. But they're going to go ahead and head off to the ceremony. And once Can is done with her painting, she'll head off to the ceremony. We've sent Ada off to the neighbors, and I will see you when they get back. Okay, so they are back home from the holiday ceremony. As you can see, we have Makena in there cooking. And it looks like Xavier is going ahead and getting some of this cheese and fruit. He couldn't wait for the meal that she's currently whipping up. He is just thinking about his dead wife, and I think that is to be expected, considering obviously she was the love of his life. So it doesn't surprise me at all that he's thinking about her. That being said, he is remarried, and even though they are more friends than they are really in love, I think that Makena would probably feel a little bad about the fact that he doesn't feel more loving feelings towards her. And I think that it would put a little bit of a strain on their relationship. I think that she kind of feels that. She feels that he doesn't love her the way that he loved his past wife. She knows that, you know, they just definitely aren't really the same. Do you know what I mean? Like, she knows that he cares for her. She knows that they're married, but she also can just feel that their relationship is maybe not based on love. It's more based on friendship. And I think that it possibly puts a little bit of a strain. Obviously not so much that they can't woohoo, because they have decided to go woohoo. She's like, let's woohoo so that maybe it will send me into labor. And I'm down with that. But I do think that it maybe puts a little bit of a strain on their relationship, and she kind of feels like he doesn't really understand her, and she sometimes feels like she doesn't really understand him. And I hate that you throw the trash in the floor, but that's fine. So obviously that woohoo did not send her into labor, even though I was kind of hoping it would. So, you know, there's that. And once again, she's thrown the trash on the floor. Like, honestly, why? Why must you do that? All right, it won't let me throw the plates away though, so I literally have to make her pick it up and throw it in the floor before I can throw it away. So it's just a bit of a bug. So we love that for us. but I am going to have her kind of clean up a little bit, and then we will have her head herself off to bed. It is starting to get a little bit late. I was really hoping that we would go ahead and have this baby, but it doesn't seem like it. Oh wait, it's blinking. I think we're gonna have a baby. Are we about to have a baby? Yes, she has gone into labor. All right, I'm gonna have her go ahead and call over Halima, because as we know, she does need to have someone here that has had a baby before to be with her when she goes into labor. That way she doesn't have to have that extra number that she has to roll when she does her death roll. So she has invited Halima over. She's like, Halima, I am in labor. Can you come round? And of course, Xavier is freaking out. He's been through so many childbirths with his wives, but as we know, he's lost 2 wives to childbirth. So I think it's understandable that he would be freaking out. I think he is worried. He is seriously worried that he could potentially lose a wife in childbirth because he has done it twice already. So he's worried about Makena. He is. And she's like, it'll be fine, Xavier. And he's like, you can't promise me that. And she's like, just have faith. So she's going to go ahead and invite in Halima. Halima's going to come on inside, and she's going to let Makena know that she's here and that she can go ahead and go on in there and give birth. She's like, I'm here. You can go on in there and have the baby. I am just here if you need me. And she's like, are you sure? And she's like, yeah, I'm here. So Makena's going to go into the bedroom, and she's going to give birth to the little one. She has Halima here in the event that anything is needed or goes wrong. And so we are going to go ahead and find out what Makena's having. This is her first child with Xavier. And so we are super excited. Obviously, Xavier's hoping for a boy. He wants a spare, but there's no guarantees on that. And they've had a girl. All right, so we are going to name this little girl Ulveva. All right, so this baby's name is going to be Ulveva. And we are going to see, hopefully it's just one, but you know, you never can tell. Did she have more than one? No, it is a single birth. All right, so mom can't roll a 1 or an 11. So we are going to open up our dice, and we are going to be rolling for mom and baby. Look at that. They are so precious. The first of many babies with Makena and Xavier. We absolutely love it. We are going to roll our dice. Mom can't roll a 1 or an 11. And we are going to see if mom is going to be able to make it or not. So let's go ahead and roll and see how she fares. I'm fairly certain that my dice come up and I actually show you that, but maybe I don't. Did I forget to show you the dice? Well, anyhow, mom does survive, and baby survives as well. And I guess I forgot to show you guys the dice, which is, not very nice of me. But mom and baby both do survive. I am going to go ahead and put that on the timeline that they do survive. We will be having Ulveva age up into an infant tomorrow, which will be fantastic to see. And she is safe until she has to do her toddler roll, which will be wonderful. We will obviously have them try for another little one. They do get a day off of rest, and then I will put that on the timeline also when Makena needs to try for another little one. So that will be wonderful. But we are going to go ahead and leave this here as far as that goes. I think it's just amazing that, they've had a little one, and we have been able to finally have another child. He's, thrilled about the fact that they've had a little one. So she is just going to go ahead and take care of this little one. We're going to go ahead and give this baby a feed, and we absolutely love that. I do think that Xavier will come in and try to love on the baby as well. But yeah, I absolutely love that, our family is growing. Obviously, they will continue trying for more babies because we do need a son. We need a spare because Ada will be aging up in 1395 to a child, and there's no guarantee that he's going to make it into childhood, and so there's that. And he is our heir, so we definitely need more sons in this family. That being said, we have sent Halima home because we have no more use for her. I am going to get Makena to come in here and fix this sink because it is busted up. And I do want Xavier to bond with the baby a little bit, and she's kind of in the way. But I am going to go ahead and leave this episode here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you are notified when new episodes go live on the channel. And I will see you guys in part B of 1394, where we are going to continue on with our Ultimate Decades Challenge. And until next time, I'm going to go ahead and fly for now. Bye, Ravens.